Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in-depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.
Hello and welcome to Nirmal, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here Dadia. We have with us Riya Singh, technical analyst, currencies joining in. Clearly, let's start off with what's happening on the Indian rupee. There is that momentum that's being built right now, and we are seeing the rupee gain strength. And one of the reasons is that the safe haven has been losing its momentum. From here on, how do you see the rupee moving in? Because clearly, a lot of focus with regards to the Indian growth story is coming back. So the mojo is coming back.
Right, Hiral. So obviously, the story that we talked about, the rural activity picking up, the numbers that have come forward from the whole rural economy and the forecast that has been with the whole, crops and such. I think this has really factored in into the rupee momentum. Also, the RBI has also done its OMO operations shortly. And plus, I think the major reason is obviously, there is a quite shift from the safe haven that we are seeing. They are losing momentum, and dollar index as well as yen are trading in a weaker zone. Apart from that, I think all the eyes right now is what will happen with the RBI next meet, because obviously the inflation was a very greater factor that was concerning everybody. It had surpassed the uh, uh, the numbers that the RBI wanted to control. The target for the RBI was between 2% to 6%, but it did surpass shortly. But the numbers that have been recently published did show the CPI has cooled off around 4.9, 4.59%. So I think this is a very good sign that with respect to the inflation, that it is coming under control. So the this whenever there is see, the whole idea behind the RBI cutting the rates, was to boost the liquidity into the market and to get the borrowing cost down. But if the inflation is under control, it does show that there is some revival that is coming forefront in the underlying economic recovery. So, so the question, presumes whether the RBI in the coming meet will go forward with the rate cut again, because everyone was on the mindset that after the hold, the next rate cut will come in the Feb meet. But obviously, with the numbers that have been coming up, uh, uh, the whole decisions now remain, a sort of dicey. So I think this is also another factor that is being showing into the rupee recovery right now. And we were quite confident, that the rupee will correct shortly near 73, 72, 80 levels anyways. So I think going forward, 73 remains a major hurdle in the appreciation path for the rupee. 73, 72.80 is the range that has a higher chance of bouncing back towards weakness. But I think with if the dollar does remains weak and the perspective of rupee strength with respect to the fundamental factors and such, we can definitely see rupee towards 70 to 80 in the coming session.
Right. So that's with regards to where the Indian rupee is concerned. With this, the dollar index is under pressure as trader remains cautious with the upcoming numbers. So what's the sense that you pick up on that front?
Right. I think the dollar index, what is right now pattern is the whole idea with respect to the fiscal package and such. And also, if you look at there are some numbers that will be coming forward shortly with respect to the inflation and everyone is looking forward towards the inflation numbers, the industrial production numbers, and such. So there are quite important numbers that will be coming in shortly. In the so that is another that the traders are remaining cautious about. Plus, I think the whole after we did see a good 3 day recovery into the dollar index, but I think as the market has started to pay attention to the latest development with respect to the whole U.S. political front, where the Democrats are trying to impeach the U.S. President Donald Trump. So I think this has again occur, again created a kind of a turmoil in Washington, and thus, having an impact on the overall greenback strength right now. Even if you look at the whole exposure of the central banks around the world, I think there has been some decline into the greenback exposure, apart from the depreciation that it had seen. So I think on a shorter term, dollar will remain under pressure, and 90 and 88.60 levels it is what it can test on a weaker note.
Right. And with this, if you move on from here, what is the sense that you pick up with regards to where the pound goes as well? Because it's holding off stronger against the dollar and the euro as the weekends.
Yes, I think people, the whole market is quite factoring into the idea of a negative rate cut, though, no such confirmation has been given out by the Bank of England. But this has been a very prominent factor right now, going around in the strength of the dollar. Because, if you look at the statements that have been come out, they are still working out, around the whole trajectory as to how the negative rates will work with economic pickup and so forth. And with the lockdown, the UK economy is still, facing a quite a decline into its economic activities and the overall GDP numbers. But if uh, I think on a shorter note, due to the decline into the greenback, yen, and so forth, and as the Brexit deal reached, I think this is what playing upper hand for the pound right now, because it has given a momentum positivity with respect to some major hurdles that was that the UK was facing uh, from past 3 to 4 years with respect to Brexit and such. But I think this will be a very short-lived momentum for the pound, and it will again go towards its towards the levels, on the weaker levels. It will again test the lower levels in the coming session. This will be a very short-lived recovery for the pound. It's it so Yeah.
Okay. Moving from there on, Riya, clearly the euro has been under pressure for the week as well on the back of the domestic political ripples that have been seen in Italy. What's the sense that you pick up from here on?
Yes, euro did lose a momentum against the greenback as well as pound. Because the fuel into the pound was majorly because of the euro. Because just last week pound was losing its momentum not against the dollar as well as the euro, but with the amid rise of the political tension. As the Italian Prime Minister Renzi has decided to withdraw its governing coalition. So, what is the idea here that is impacting the euro strength is uh, currently the Italy's government is backed by a coalition between the center and left Democratic Party. So, if there is a withdrawal of one party from the coalition, the whole administration's future comes at risk. So this is the factor that has been weighing onto the euro right now, the uncertainty with the whole Italy government and so forth. And plus, the timing of this crisis is very worse because Italy is currently battling with its worst COVID-19 pandemic and recession. So this has again added into the weakness of the whole recovery, with if you look at the whole eurozone recovery and so forth. So I think this is what playing into this part. And if there is some steps that will be taken on the Italy forefront or some positive statement, I think that will cut into the weakness. But I think for the coming session, until this issue is resolved, the euro can face some pressure into the coming sessions.
Right. And what would be the strategies that you would want to recommend?
The strategies that one can look forward to is rupee. I think if you look at the rupee has closed on a weaker note at around 73.10 and so forth. So look for a breach of 73.03. That is a support in an intraday session. And if it breaches that, you can go short into the rupee for a target of 70 to 85. Keep a strict SL at 73.15. The next strategy that you can look forward is into the pound. I think if you look at the whole pound momentum, apart from us, it has been in a zigzag momentum from past, from I think for a month now. So if there is a breach of 100 levels, right now it's trading at 99.81. There is a 20 paise gap, but if it breaches the 100 levels, only then it can again test the levels of 135, 145, and so forth. But if it opens on a weaker note, one can definitely go short into the pound for the coming session. Look for a breach of support at around 99.75 levels. 99 point, look for a breach of 99.70 levels. You can keep a target of 99.50 and keep a strict SL at 99.90.
Right. So these are strategies that we should be following as well. Thank you, Riya, so much for joining in. Thank you, participants, as well, for being a part of the show. Thank you so much.